I just wanted to thank everyone for coming to conferences. At conferences, I was able to talk to almost everyone about the tools that your student has in their web book bag. But I wanted to take the time to go over those tools one more time in case you need a reminder or in case I didn't have a chance to talk to you at conferences about them. So this first tool is our accuracy strategy bookmark, and your student would use this if they came to a tricky word while they were reading. We have spent a lot of time teaching your children about these animals, and they should know if they pull this bookmark out, they should be able to tell you what all of these animals do. So if they were reading a book and came to a tricky word, they would work their way through the accuracy strategies. So if they were reading this page and came to the word water and they weren't quite sure what it was, the first thing that they're going to do is use lips the fish. And lips the fish reminds them to get their lips ready for the very first sound in the word. So if they're looking at the word water, they're going to get their lips ready for the sound wa. The next animal friend is eagle eyes, and eagle eyes reminds them to look at the picture. So they're going to use the sound that they heard with lips the fish and look in the picture and see if there are any clues that will help them figure out the word that starts with the w sound. If that doesn't work, then the next strategy that they try is Stretchy the Snake, and Stretchy the Snake reminds them to try to stretch out each sound in the word and then blend them all together to see if they can figure out what that word is. But of course, sometimes it doesn't work. So then the next thing they would try is Chunky Monkey, and Chunky Monkey is asking them to look for a chunk in the word they know. So if they were looking at the word balloons, they would definitely see the chunk all or the chunk ball in there. If they have tried all of these strategies and they still need help, the next animal friend that they're going to try is Flippy the Dolphin. And Flippy the Dolphin reminds them that a lot of our letters make more than one sound, especially our vowels. So they know that if they are having trouble stretching it out and looking for chunks, then they can try and switch or flip the vowel sound to make one of the other sounds to see if that helps them figure out a word. The next thing they could do is use Skippy the Frog, and what that means is when you read a word, if you come to the word that's tricking you and you tried and can't figure it out, then the next thing you can do is just skip that word and read to the end of the sentence. Now, once you use Skippy the Frog and skip a word, you can't keep reading until you figure out what that word is. So once you get to the end of the sentence, you use Trying Lion and try that line again. And when you get to the word that you got tricked on, see if you can figure it out this time from the context clues, or if you need to make a good guess, make a good guess. But before you can move on, that's when you use Wise Old Owl, and he reminds you to check and see if your guess makes sense. And if it makes sense, then check and make sure that the sounds in the word that you guessed match the letters and the sounds in the word that you got tricked on. The last strategy on our bookmark is called Helpful Kangaroo. And it is the last one because it's the last thing that we want our kids to ever try. And Helpful Kangaroo just means that you need to ask somebody for help. So they know that they can ask a friend in the classroom or a teacher or mom and dad at home. And we know that when somebody comes to us and asks us for help, we don't just tell them the word, but we give them a hint that will help them figure it out. So those are the strategies that your children have been introduced to help them when they come to a tricky word. If they are reading at home and they come to a tricky word, have them pull this bookmark out of their web book bag and see if they can use these animals to help themselves before they need to ask somebody else for help.